what are your takeaways after a pretty tough loss here?
Yes, sure. I think like, on the East Coast, an early start, I think we didn't start how we would have wanted. I think if we could do that over again, we would change some things. They definitely like them being at home. I don't think we came out with the energy that was needed. So I think that put us on the back foot a little bit. I think like at the end of the day, we did still have chances in a performance that I think we would all agree is not our best. And we still had an opportunity to tie and maybe even win the game. So I think it's just like, can we really capitalize on those moments we're getting, especially if we're finding ourselves not having a lot of possession, which obviously we would prefer, but not every game is going to be in our favor that way. So I think, can we just nail down on the things that when we are able to get our moments, could we take advantage of them and get out of here with at least a point? So.
And then I guess I'll follow up with you, Olivia. Just how did you see that goal come together as it happened?
I kind of was just trying to stay in the space the whole time. Like I was screaming Jesse's ear off. And when she kind of saw me out of the corner of her eye, I could tell she was going to play it. And then it was just about like, how could my first touch set me up to get a shot? Cause I knew the space would close pretty quickly. And so I was just kind of like prepping myself the whole time. And then as soon as the space opened up, I went for it. And
it was a banger.
All right, we're gonna go follow up with Guillermo. Go ahead, Guillermo.
Hey, congrats on the goal, Olivia. Just
Can't
a
hear
quick
you,
question.
Guillermo.
Can you hear me now? Am I good?
All right, we'll follow up with Leo in the meantime. Go ahead, Leo.
Me?
Wow. All right, hold up.
I don't know. I could hear Guillermo.
We
I don't
can
know if you guys can hear
hear
me.
each other, but not you.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's figured.
Or
We'll go
you
back.
can't hear us, at least.
Yeah.
We'll go back to Guillermo.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead, Guillermo.
Can you hear me now?
Now we can.
Okay. Hey, Olivia. Again, second time, but you didn't hear me the first time. Congrats on the goal. You said you guys came out slow in the first half. What was the message in the second half, knowing number 2 on the other team was coming on at some point in the game?
Honestly, I think there's a lot of threats in this league, and so we try to be prepared for everything in terms of like we can't be necessarily thinking about who's going to come off the bench always, and Rodman's obviously a threat that we wanted to be aware of and respect that, and so we tried to be as ready as possible. I think the messaging in the second half was more just like nothing matters at this point from what's happened. It's 1-1 and we need to go out with a different type of intensity and a different plan. And I think we did do that. And it's just, those kind of critical moments that we fell short on a little bit. But I do think the change from first half to second half was a good step for us. So.
Thank you.
All right, go ahead, Leo.
Hi. Kind of just wanted to talk about those first 30 or so minutes. Obviously, you guys didn't come out with the intensity that you wanted. And I'm curious from both midfield and defense, kind of just how you maintain the defensive pressure that you did. Obviously, Washington only got a goal during that time, and kind of how just like the mental strength that's required to just foil Washington's attack at that point.
I can start with this one so you can have a break. The first 30 minutes we raised it at halftime that just weren't good enough. And it goes back to what Liv was saying. We had, are we in the East Coast?
Yes.
My geography.
He's in Australia, no.
We had an East Coast game and the time difference, someone said it was 6:30 our pre-game match our time. So we had to adjust really quickly and that plays a big part mentally. So that's where I think the first 30 minutes came from. We raised it at halftime that Sam said it really well. Individually, we all need to lift 1%, and that's what we did. And it was good that we could only conceded 1 goal, but we also fought back in the end of the first half, which, like I said, was a banger by Liv.
Corp had a great defensive play too. They kept this in the game. She freaking got on her horse there, saved us. So.
All right, any follow-ups, Leo?
Kind of, this one's more for Liv. I kind of just wanted to ask about playing with this Thorns midfield. Obviously, you had a goal, Jesse had an assist, but also playing with Sam and Hina and kind of the relationship that the 4 of you have built.
Yeah, I think every minute we play together, it gets better, honestly. I feel like just the relationship on and off the field has grown. In general, I am very close with this team, and so I have found it very easy to connect with my midfielders because I think we've gone out of our way to just really build that relationship. So I really enjoy that. Whether I'm playing on the forward line and coming inside, I always feel like a midfielder with those players around me, and it's fun to be able to combine and just trust that we know where each other is, especially kind of example with the goal, just knew where I was, and that's built with all the time and training in those moments. So yeah, I love getting to play with them, and I do think it continues to get better and better. So
We're gonna come back to the room here in person. Go ahead, Roy.
Caitlin, I have one for you. I'm just wondering, I know it was the first game in a little while where Maka was in net. Like,
Mhm.
tell me a little bit, what's the difference between having her behind you versus having Bella? What are kind of the adjustments that you have to make depending on who's in net?
I mean, it's a really tough call. I'm glad I'm not the head coach and have to make that call, but they're both number one keepers in this league. So they're both quality. Mac brings a lot of really good distribution, and I think that's where she's standing out at the moment. And I personally love playing with her. I get to play with her in country and club, and I think a lot of us know how she plays now. We know what to expect, and I think that's why she's got the spot.
Okay, any follow-up? All right, any other questions from those on Zoom joining us online? Okay, I'll take that as a no. All right, we'll go ahead and end today's availability with the players, and we'll follow up with Rob here shortly.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rob.
Yeah, thanks.
Is it Rob next?
All right, just want to make sure you guys can hear us online.
Yep, you're good.
Sweet. All right, like last time, we're just gonna start here in person. First question, go ahead, Roy.
Yep, I'll keep it broad. Big takeaways from today's match?
Took us a while to get going. They came out very aggressive, went through the back of us a number of times as you would at home and tried to set the standard. But then we got reorganized, started to deal with the overloads in wide areas. They got, fast players up top. Second half, we regrouped, got our shape right. Probably, the goal at halftime obviously helped, but with the confidence. But yeah, second half, organized, compact. Best chances fell to us. Pietro over the bar railing 1-on-1. Keeper made a good save. Peeps. Yeah, we felt comfortable with, we knew coming away from home a point would be a good result. Thought we looked compact, organized, denied them opportunities as the game wore on. The better chances fell to us. But really disappointed with the last goal. I'll have to watch my words, but it shouldn't be allowed. There's a player that's laid on the floor which they did all game long, to try and get VAR decisions and delay restarts. That player has then been called on at the opportune moment for them to create an overload in the attack. That's it shouldn't be allowed.
All right, any follow-ups?
And I was also wondering, because it came up in the player thing, Caitlin was talking about the ability to have basically two #1 keepers available to you. I know it was Mac's first time starting in a while. I guess walk me through a little bit about the decision making and saying that she was ready to.
Yeah, obviously she was injured before the break, so that's why it's been a while. But yeah, two very good goalies, different attributes as we've talked about. Yeah, I thought Mac did well first half. First goal was just where we got isolated 1v1, and I think Issa just got tangled up in the feet for the pullback. But yeah, just competition for places.
All right, go ahead, Leo. You can go ahead, Leo.
I forgot how to unmute myself for a second. When we had Liv and Caitlin in here just now, they were talking a little bit about the travel of it all. I know you guys had a long travel day Friday, and then you're playing this game at 9:30 Eastern, which is
Ridiculous.
yeah, or 9:30 Pacific, so noon Eastern. And I guess I'm wondering, obviously not like an excuse, but kind of what that travel does to y'all and kind of how you manage that.
Yeah, I mean, ask anybody who travels at that length of distance to have what is a 9:30 a.m. kickoff for one team who's gone coast to coast. Like schedule your games around the television. I get that. You need to have eyes, ears. It's how we're growing the game. But to give one team that advantage. So imagine, Leo, traveling across the country, you get in late, you're now needing to go to bed at what would be 6 or 7 in the evening to try and get a good night's sleep to get up and train. Your circadian rhythms are completely off. Look, was that the reason for our sluggish start? It was also boiling hot. I don't know. I just think it's poor scheduling again.
Right, follow up. All right, we're gonna move to Guillermo.
So, yeah.
Oh.
Great. Yeah. I
Hey,
guess-
Rob.
Go ahead, Guillermo.
Hey, Rob. Following on that, is there something different that's on your hands that you can do to prepare on those early games on the East Coast? I know we talked about it last time that you were on the East.
It's very, very tough because, you have to organize the ability to train when you're here with the facilities. How do you do it? When do you go in? Obviously, we have airline partners. It's difficult to get flights out of Portland. You guys have all lived there longer than me. Yeah, I mean, the operations department, we talk about when and how and when can we get charters and which ones do we need. But ultimately, between management, sponsorship, organizing, it's not always possible. In an ideal world, for sure, we'd charter out here and have a couple of days and be able to train at facilities and acclimatize. But it's a challenge. It's a challenge for all teams in North America in the league. Yeah, say we can't hide behind excuses. But I thought as the game wore on, especially second half, we we had the better chances. We played well second half, and the results being taken from us, from my eyes, with that decision.
All right, we're gonna follow up with Wilder.
Hey Rob, the first one, Turner went down kind of in the second half and then was subbed out. Is there any news on her status, or was that more just like a rest substitution?
Like, she worked really hard. You see her first half, the backtracking, stretching the line. I was really pleased with Raylan's work rate and effort, and just in, I don't know what the temperature was, but it felt hot. I was getting a bit
81.
hot under the collar with the decision making as well. So not an injury, just a fatigue factor.
All right,
Okay.
following back up with Leah. Oh, do you have a follow up, Wilder?
Yeah, I have one more quick one. And then the starting, we had Mimi up there with Raylan, and what was that kind of thought process over Jordan? I don't know if, yeah, the starting lineup just looked a little different.
It was actually almost identical to the Seattle lineup, just to change it centre forward.
Okay, go ahead, Leo.
Yeah, and I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about Liv's goal, and kind of both. It was a really good goal, and kind of what that did for the momentum of the game for y'all.
I also want to add, we didn't mention this in the last one, but with that goal, Liv is now tied ninth in regular season, or ninth in club history for regular season goals, alongside Tobin Heath and Haley Rasso.
Excellent. Good tidbit there. The question was talk through the goal.
Yep.
Yeah, when we got the pressing right in the midfield, we stood off way too much in the first 20 minutes. When we got that right, you could see we got onto their back three much more readily and much more easily. We had to be aggressive more from the front. And like I say, whether it was the early start of the heat, we weren't enacting the game plan. As we started to fix that as a half wore on, more and more opportunity came. And then, yeah, it was win in the midfield like we do very, very well. Good composure from Jess as we were trying to attack and get numbers in. We looked a little bit compact, and as they were shifting, she just did a clever little reverse ball into Liv. And yeah, we know Liv's got the quality. I'm glad she got over the top of it and kept it low, and it was a great finish. And I was, yeah, really pleased for Liv. And that's what we expect from her. She's got that caliber, and she'd expect it from herself to be on the score seat fairly regularly. And as we've talked about, we need to do that as a team and find goals in a number of different ways from a number of different people.
And then final one from me, I got the chance to talk to Hino this last week, and she was talking a lot about just like wanting to express herself through her play. And I guess I was kind of wondering if you could talk a little bit about her and what she brings to the team.
Yeah, I think she does express herself through her play. She's a fan favorite, you know, ever since I've come in, I've played her consistently and as often as I can. She's a terrific character. Everybody enjoys Hina's presence on the field, off the field. She loves her football. So yeah, we love her expressing herself. I thought it was a tough first half in that midfield. Jesse, Sam, Hina, we looked sluggish in there. It got better towards the end of the first half, and then obviously organised them at half time. It was a lot more controlled through the middle of the park, and we started to create overloads in those central channels and get those players on the ball. So yeah, yeah, I think she best way of expressing herself with the language barriers is through her football.
All right. Taylor, any question from you?
Nope. The in-room one got my lead-in question for me.
All right. Well, with that, we're going to go ahead and conclude today's post-match availability. Thank you all for joining, and make sure to send this in the Slack. If you need me to send it to you personally, I can do that as well. Thank you, Rob. See you guys next week.